Hey Jory, I'm glad to hear you today.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Very well, thank you for joining.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully, we can uh, dive in and really get some things clear about what Eclipse does and really share it with the community as well. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm very proud to have such a big company visiting our discords and introducing themselves. But before we beginning, I will tell you our rules of Discord because it is very unique and special place. That's why I want you to introduce that rules. First of all, we have a lot of Russian-speaking community here, and our session will be translated. It will be difficult for you, but feel free just to speak in English, 1-2 sentences, like I don't know, 3 minutes. That will be enough. I will make some notes, and after that, translate it. So let's try and let's see how it will going on. And also you can do whenever you want. You can just tell anything you're thinking. It will be I wish presentation, not session. I will not ask you for much questions. Everything depends on you. If you want, you can share your screen and show something to the audience.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I suppose the first thing I'd like to do is thank you guys for having me. It's really XP here, and I really appreciate all the support you guys have shown us so far as well, especially around the ecosystem games we just had recently. Um, Also, a huge congratulations for winning and taking the crown by a couple of points. You really come through and put the effort in. So, um, firstly, huge thanks for allowing me to be here and present about our launch pad, our launch hub, and what we've got coming up. Yeah, no problem at all. I think it's good even if we just have a bit of a chat. I think having some of the community ask questions too along the way is totally fine. Let's try and keep the session, I suppose, so that it's very open because I realize if people haven't used a launch pad before or haven't used a platform like this before, it can be a bit confusing too. So if there are questions, happy for everybody to jump in and ask.
So let's start. I see here a lot of people. Most of them has our PFPs, so that's mean we can start. Well, I really want, first of all, to know some information about you, how you joined Eclipse Fi, and a little bit of history of Eclipse Fi, who found that company and what they're working for.
Yeah, perfect. So, a little bit about myself. My background. So, I've been in crypto since 2016. I think I started like most people start in crypto as I thought I was going to be an amazing trader and sort of tried to play the perpetual markets with longing and shorting and all that sort of stuff. And then if you hang around enough in crypto, eventually it's almost like you just start working here. I started moderating some chats and being in a lot of the different communities. At the time it was Algorand space, which is another layer one, and over the course of a few years, I suppose I moved through that career through from being just a moderator to then a growth community lead. And that's what I've been doing for a few different projects for the last few years. So I've been at Eclipse Fi now since June. Been loving being with the team. It's very interesting dynamic finding a team that actually everybody fits together really well and works really well together. And I think Eclipse Fi is absolutely nailing that at the moment in terms of our team dynamic and the people we've got on board. So I'm really excited to be working with them and continuing to drive this launchpad forward because I think, like I said, sometimes it's really hard to find a team that's everybody's on the same page and everybody's driven to get to the same goal. And Eclipse definitely has that. So I feel right at home with them, and I'm really excited to be here. I'll let you do that bit, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about Eclipse Fire's history too.
I also want to add information about your team. It was like my first experience when I can just wrote something in the chat. Hey guys, we are Expedition Collection. Let's do something together. And you just, not you, but Simon, I think, just told me, yeah, please open a ticket and let's do some shit together. and it was so much so easy just to make first step to you and break the ice to start working together. And because I felt all your support, you just DM'd me, just hey buddy, I don't want to communicate with you in ticket, please come to me and let's do some cool stuff together. It was exciting, it was very easy, and I really appreciate your support. For me it is very important, and due to your I have to say that, due to your attention to the just basic people, for normal people, you got with us such a cool experience, and we made amazing games. So it is like your giant work also.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think it really suits what we're trying to achieve as Eclipse as well. You'll notice that in the chats that Simon is always in there. Sam jumps into, M's in there, Fur's in there. So just for a quick overview of who's who. So Simon is the founder. Sam is sort of like a 2IC, but also head of business development. So he helps bring on the projects. Myself, I'm community lead. There's TNT in there, who's our community manager. Klopp and Ibita are the moderators. And we also have Fur, who's our marketing manager, social media superstar. So it's really easy to find all of the guys, and there's plenty of back end team as well. I think some of the devs jump into, but it's really easy to find us in there in the community because we're part of it. I think the community itself is very very linked in with the team, and even our ambassadors too. Like I can see the Dante here in the crowd as well. Like they're so good, and they're so involved with wanting to be a part of everything that's going on, and it's so good to have everybody jump in, and we're all, like I said, pushing towards the same goal. And I think that starts at the top, and that starts with some of the team members that help jump in the community to welcome everybody. So I'm hugely appreciative from that sense. But it's very open too. Like if we have people in the audience today that want to be Eclipse ambassadors, for example, it's very easy to apply and jump in to be part of it.
Click the close conversation.
It's all good. It's almost like being it gives me familiar vibes of being on Twitter when Twitter used to just end spaces. So I mean, it's part of
Basic
crypto, I
stuff.
think.
Yeah, that's it. I've translated your last idea, but you can become Eclipse Fi member if you just invest money, and that's it.
Yeah.
For my
So
idea.
moving on to Eclipse itself. So that was a little bit of history about me, but more so about Eclipse now. So Eclipse has been operating since just late last year, effectively. So that's nearly a year's time. And what they were basically meant to be a part of the Cosmos ecosystem. We're built specifically now on Neutron, and we're growing and developing to be the launch hub specifically for Neutron. However, we do also do launches cross-chain, and we collaborate with a lot of projects that come in from cross-chain as well. So, as an example, our most recent IDO for MXS Games, MetaXseed, they'll be launching their own layer one chain, and they're currently building on AVAX. So we have, I suppose, a wide scope of projects that we can launch, but our home base is Neutron. And what our whole goal is as a launch pad or as a launch hub is to take back some of the power from some of the big players, because a lot of the things that we've seen in the industry up until this point is that there's a lot of predatory actors around VCs, I suppose, investing in and then taking advantage of retail. So what our whole objective is to take some of that power that's being distributed out to some of the bigger players and redistribute it back to the smaller guys, so that we as a community can take charge of our own finances, our own I suppose investments, you would say, into different projects, and be able to then support those projects, but also support the community so that we can work together to create a thriving ecosystem that isn't just purely based around retail being wrecked.
One question. 1 month ago, I think it was something called Cook on Osmosis, and we're also token hub of different tokens you can launch. What is the main difference of that two platforms? Because I understand that you launch but real tokens, which has utility, and Cook, for example, it is just like meme platform.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not familiar with Cook, but I can hazard a guess. So difference I suppose between us and something like I'll say Pink Sale or maybe Cook. I'm not sure about that platform itself, but so our projects are we have a due diligence process. So we have as an example, Sam from BD. His primary role is to make sure that projects fit a certain criteria, that the teams are docs, that they have a certain level of um, structure and what their company looks like going forward in order to ensure that we have the best probability of success. So I think some of these other platforms, like I said, I'm not sure if Cook's that case, but some of these other platforms is you can sort of just make a token or make a meme or make something and launch it. There's no background research on what the idea behind the project is, what the teams like that have good intentions for actually continuing a project to success, or whether they've sort of just made it and they're just launching it and they just then release the contract and hope for the best. So the difference between us is that we have, like I said, that thorough due diligence process to make sure that what we're actually launching and what we're bringing to our community has some backing, has some level of fundamental ability in order for them to drive forward and continue to build this product so that we can try to ensure that what our community receives on the other end is actually a thoroughly researched product um, that has potential to do well in the market, as opposed to it's something that might get rugged or something that doesn't have a backing team that has the best intentions.
It's very interesting that you have some criteria to just be listed on your platform. But also, for example, if I want to I'm creating some token, for example, expedition token, which generates some value. What I have to do to launch your platform? How much fees do I have pay, and how it look like?
Yeah, great question. So we have I just the easy of it. We have a platform fee which is 10% of what's raised. So obviously, then it comes down to how much you want to raise for your project. But how it works in terms of our due diligence, you effectively have a meeting with Sam. You provide a lot of docs back and forth with our business development team to make sure that you tick all the boxes for what we're looking for legitimacy, so to speak. So he has I actually don't know what the entire criteria he goes through, but I know it's very very thorough. So it's there is a lot of back and forth. It's around what the tokenomics look like, what the business plan is, what your marketing plans are, who you have on board for your launch strategy, what your go to market is, what the token purpose is, the utility. So all these things are taken into account when Sam does his a thorough look through. And I probably should have brought him. It would have been really good. He could have explained his processes a bit more, and maybe we do another one and we can bring some more of the team as well. But so it just there is I suppose a lot to the process that we go through in order to make sure that it ticks all the boxes. And I think too we're very collaborative. So if we see a project that has a lot of potential and there's a few things that are missing, then we're happy to sort of help them work towards those things to make sure that they can achieve them. So we're collaborative in that sense, but also very strict on how we want to launch things and what potential we see for those protocols.
Joe, I have a question. You've told me that you have a really strict parameters to get on it. But can you please introduce some companies, projects who already launched by a platform?
Yeah, for sure. So we have, I'm sure a lot of people have heard recently about Carve. So we've got two different types of launches that we've done. Some have just purely been for node sales and some have been for tokens. So Carve, we did a node launch and they're performing excellently at the moment. They just had their launch recently. So that's, really excited about that. So we've had Kinetics, we've had Carve. Coming up as well that we've had announced, we've got Rivals. Rivals is previous bonus block. We've got a few also in the hopper that you can check our website as well that are coming through. And obviously our most recent one coming up is MXS, which will the whitelist went live yesterday. So we've got a few, I suppose, in the hopper, but also due to our strict diligence, I suppose it's not as much as you would see at something like I said, Pink Sail or Cedar Fi, because we're very selective with who we work with. Does that mean that we always get the absolute best outcome? Not necessarily, but it means that we've done thorough diligence on the team, and they're not disappearing or anything like that. They're here to continue working, continue building, and the general fundamentals are really good. So, does that answer that question? Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. And maybe we will move to the audience, because for us it's the most interesting thing. If something launching on your platform, how we can get access to that and buy your tokens or not. For example, if Rivals got launch on your platform, and how I can buy it one of the first.
Yeah,
That
for
note.
sure. So I think even if I just quickly discuss how it works as a launchpad, and I'm not sure if everybody in the audience has participated in a launchpad before or not. So effectively, we have something that's called token gating, which means that we as a launchpad, we have our own native token called Eclipse. And how you can get access to the sales at a guaranteed level is through staking your Eclipse with us. So effectively, on the open market, you purchase an Eclipse, you take that to the Eclipse website, the eclipsefi.io. You stake it onto our website, and then you'll be put into a different tier. The more of the Eclipse coin token that you have, the more likely you are to be guaranteed a spot in the sale for early rounds. So if you've got the highest tier, and it on the website is explained what you need to get to the highest tier to get to have that guaranteed allocation, then that means that any of our sales that we have, or any of the IDOs that we have, you'll be guaranteed a spot in the sale if you should so want it. Which means that you can basically, for this MXS sale, for example, when the whitelist opens, you can go in and say, yeah, I've been allocated this amount from the sale, and I'd like to capitalize on that by contributing this amount of USD. So obviously that works in different tiers. As if at the very top tier, you've got a guaranteed allocation. As the tiers come down, you've got less guarantee, meaning like if you're in the lowest tier, it becomes more of a lottery system, where it's like, as an example, if there's 100 people that want an allocation, but we've only got 80 spots, that means there's an 80% chance that you will be given an allocation in this sale. So you're better to stake more Eclipse, because then you get a guaranteed allocation. Further down the tiers, your chances in the lottery system are less, but you still get a good bite at the cherry to be able to participate. Once you've got that, once we go through the process where the whitelist lottery happens, for example, you'll be notified that you have been given a whitelist spot once you've registered in the whitelist, and then you can participate in that. If you do somehow miss that from the sale, we do have the next step, which is first come, first serve, which is basically we open up the platform, and then you can just contribute straight to it, and it's first in, and then first come, first serve. For the platform, for IDOs, we have to go through a KYC process, and then after that, it's just you then select your contribution. I know that was a lot.
One more time, please repeat. We have only three options. It is to get allocation, it is to stake. Second one, it is the lottery, and the third thing, it is first come, first serve. Is that correct?
Yes, and one more thing I'll add, that we do have a lot of community competitions. So, as an example, I'm not sure if you've shared yet the Threads competition that we'll be doing, but there is other ways to get whitelists, and that's one of them as well.
Yeah, perfect. So you told us a process how we can get whitelist to get your launchpad, but the main question, why do we need that? Because if I want to buy a token just in a few days after launch pad, or instantly market will be opened and I can just buy it from the market, why do I have to join that type of events?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll just talk about things we've seen typically in the past, and this doesn't mean that it's a consistent thing that always happens. But I'll just use. I'm sure everybody in the audience knows SUI, SUI. I'll just use them as an example. They had a launch price at 10 cents, which was they used the Qcoin launchpad and a few other different exchange launchpads as well. And so the community was able to participate in that launch if they had a whitelist. Only if they had a whitelist, they were able to get a guaranteed price of 10 cents that they could participate in that sale with. When the SUI coin opened live for trading, it went from 10 cents to something like I think it was like $1.10 or $1.20 in a matter of milliseconds, and so you weren't able to actually lock in that price on the open market. So what the benefit of having a set price through a launchpad is through a whitelist is that you know exactly the amount, the locked in price that you're trading your coins for. Whereas on the open market, like let's say I just jumped on the exchange after SUI went live and said I'm just going to buy $100 worth of this, instead of getting the amount that I would have at 10 cents that I was thinking I was getting, I really end up buying in at more like $1.10 or $1 and only getting 100 coins as opposed to, you know, the 1,000 that I thought I was going to get at 10 cents. So it's the locked in price. You're guaranteed that price, and you know what you're exchanging for your money and how many tokens or coins that you'll be getting. And then obviously you're able to capitalize on that market influx if that does happen to be the case with the project that launches. Does that make sense?
I have one question about the previous idea to add, and after that we have one question from the chat. The first question it is why projects are ready, for example, SUI are ready to sell their token for 10 cents if they know that in 2 weeks their token will cost $1 or 10 cents. Do they need money for something just to invest right now and to be sure that the token will grow up in a few weeks, for example? Please let us know about that. Why we're ready to do it?
Yeah. So why they're willing to let people buy at a lower price? Is that sort of the question?
Why projects are ready to sell their token on Launchpad for 10 cents if they are sure that their token will cost more in a few weeks? Why we not just open a market and sell that token, for example?
Yeah, good question. And it comes down to rounds of funding, I guess. In project tokenomics, generally what they have is they have a seed round, they have a private round, they have a public round, and then after that they have a launch. And what different stages of fundraising, I suppose, helps a project do. So at the seed round, you have to think these are people that invest in the project very early at concept. So they tend to get the best price, but also that they're vested for their tokens, which means that you've got long-standing people that are supporting the project over time, and people that invest in the seed round, for example, are usually very strategic in terms of how they're involved. So they might be public backers that help to go to market, or they might be strategic that help in the way that they can build the project or something like that. So seed round investors usually have a vested stake in the project over, and it can be years. It can be a year vesting. So instead of getting all their tokens at once, they get it progressively, slowly over time. And why that's good for the project, it means that they can secure funding up front so that they can operate and they can continue to grow. But it also means that the people that are backing the project get a little bit of their token up front, but they're not able to unlock it all. So as you can imagine, if I bought something at 10 cents or 5 cents is what the seed for SUI might have been, if it goes to $1, I might be looking to exit my entire position, because that's a really good return. That's a 20x return from 5. But what's good about having, I suppose, the early backers is, like I said, they're on a vested contract, which means they don't have their full position unlocked. So why they would sell it at that price earlier is it helps them secure a few things. It helps them secure early funding, which gives them certain runway and allows them to actually participate in different, I suppose, launch strategies without the hassle of maybe not launching the way they would expect. And then the second thing would be that when you have I suppose a community that's vested into your project early on at a certain level of sense, you develop a really I suppose a strong community based around that. And another good example of that is Solana. You think of or Ethereum as well. And I know they're obviously extreme examples, but people that had that really early influence and that really early input into Ethereum and Solana now have a lot more leeway in how they can operate inside the ecosystem. So a lot of really early ETH people or really early Solana people become big players and really big ecosystem advocates, obviously, because they did so well from that token's launch. So now that they're in there, they're developing different things and they've created a complete ecosystem based around it. So while it might seem counterintuitive to launch at a set price, it means that the longevity of a project is significantly higher because you're creating community, you're creating strong backers, you're creating dynamics inside your project and inside your tokenomics that allow for consistent growth, but also certainty around what you're getting as a project to be able to continue in regards to your runway and in regards to how you can build out with partnerships. I know that was a lot. Sorry.
That's a lot, but your answer was amazing. You just explained everything from the beginning to the end, and I think every child will understand everything you told us. That was amazing. I hope people understood that idea. I just tried to make the concept as you did, but your English is amazing. You just put everything in the correct place, and your idea was full. I really love your answer. It was amazing. But we have to keep going. We have one question from the chat. We have here a lot of different people from different countries, and one question is from Russia. And can he get verified with your KYC to just get some allocation from your platform?
That's a great question. For Russian, I'm actually not sure specifically because I think it's assessed on a person by person, but you can go through and you can attempt to KYC on ZKMe, and it's completely private in terms of words escape me on what I'm trying to say here. We use ZKMe, which means that it's it's a private process for KYC. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. The word there that I'm trying to think of, and it's just totally gone from my brain. It's probably because it's 3:40 a.m. I don't know. So each individual can test and go through the KYC process to see if they're eligible. Basically, it's a very easy process. And we use ZKMe. It's on our the Eclipse Fi platform. So you can see if you're eligible effectively. And I believe that the KYC is assessed by case by case. I think mostly it's to exclude people from the US because obviously they have governing laws that restrict them from participating. But I'm unsure about each individual country. It's good to go and test and make sure that you actually can participate, obviously, before jumping in. I see there's another question there too about maybe Dante has a good answer. If I won the allocation and bought tokens on the pre-sale, will I receive them in parts as an investor? Yes. So part of the mechanism, because you would be a part of the early ecosystem of the project, as I said before, when you're an early contributor, you become part of that project community. So it's vested out to you over time, meaning you do get an initial unlock, which for each sale is different. Sometimes it's 20%, sometimes it can be up to 50%, but then it's usually vested out over the course of a few months, depending on each project too. Like some of the vesting I've seen for some projects is like 2 or 3 years, depending on how early you got in. I'm not saying that's what it is for any of the projects we're launching. I think it's generally a few months vesting where you get an allocation of it up front, but then you also have maybe 3 or 4 months worth of vesting where you get the rest of it over time.
You've told us about 4 activities, what you have to stake your coins to just get some allocations, but you didn't tell us how often different projects are offering IDOs we can join in as community. So you have it once a month, few times a month, or just regular week by week you launch one project?
Yeah, that is a great question. So It's been really interesting the last few months, obviously, because the market's been pretty slow. So even though we've had a fair few projects in the hopper and ready to launch with us, there's a lot of them that have delayed due to the market conditions. So as we come into more of the bull market, we'll see a lot more. And I don't have a specific answer in terms of one a week or one a month, because it's not necessarily scheduled in like that. We might have one in a month, and then next month we might have five. It just depends on what gets through the due diligence, and also what projects are willing to launch into the current market conditions. But coming into this bull run, and it looks like the market's having a bit of an upturn, I think we'll see a lot more launches on a lot more regular basis. But to be able to give an answer around how many per month, I think is very hard. But more so because we're aiming for quality of our projects launch as opposed to volume, where our launches themselves, I think, will attract a better style of project than just launching anything.
Why I asked a question how often? Because you've told the great idea that bull market is coming soon, and I'm really happy that Expedition know Eclipse in the early stage of blood market, because right now we can get closer to each other, and maybe we just as a community can do something, some activity to get higher chance to get some allocation. Maybe people can somehow invest money separately, or just a big team, I don't know, can collect money all together and invest you to get guaranteed allocations for holders, or somehow to be connected with your project, because right now it is the early stage. But while bull market, if we start working right now in the bull market, everyone will be rewarded with very expensive tokens for a very cheap price.
Yeah, so that's definitely something I think that we can collaborate with, because as you guys have shown, you're an excellent, strong community that is supporting us too at Eclipse, and we'd love to support you in the same way, because our whole goal, like I said from the very beginning, is to be I suppose a launch hub for the people. So we're very interested in actually being at this level with everybody in the community, and taking feedback and taking on board what are the things that the community actually wants to see. And we're so happy to have you guys with us for the journey, even just engaging in the games that we have in our Discord, and also on our platform. So we're really excited to have you all here, and I'm sure there's definitely ways in the future that we can all work together to be able to join our communities better, and make sure that we're all benefiting as we move forward.
And if we decided how we can invest money to you to get some guaranteed well spots for your ideas.
Yeah, so easiest way at this stage is like, and this is not financial advice, obviously, not business advice or anything like that. But even you could operate as a DAO and pull in to put a clip in, and to be able to push towards getting that guaranteed IDO. If you're looking at other methods, I think we'd have to make a structure and really sit down and work out how we wanted to plug that in as an entire group. For example, if you wanted to do it as like an expedition DAO. So I suppose there's a few different options. Like there's the normal option, which would be go through our process, which is get the Eclipse token and stake it onto the platform, and therefore you get guaranteed allocation. Obviously, the more Eclipse you have, the more guaranteed allocation you've got, and you could in theory do that as a DAO, as expedition, if you set it up in the right way, and you could have a custodian for that in theory. Outside of that, working together as a large group thing, I'm sure there's something we could work out as well, but we just have to work out what the finer details are for that.
Thank you for your answer. I think it will be very interesting for people. I will ask them and get from them feedback. I just explain everything, and you see chat. Here are a lot of different questions. From the first question, it is from Nastya. Is it already possible to see the platform site where its pre-sale will be? Dan, please, buddy, can you send a link to that and we will have it on our chat and people can click on it, check everything, and to see how it's working.
Yep. So you just need a link to the website. Is that
Yeah. The Dan will send it, I think. Okay, he's writing it will okay.
Yeah. Dante's on top of it. He's brilliant at that, helping us out with all the links and everything. That's you've been designated as the link guy, Dante.
Yeah. Second question: if I have an allocation ticket, what is the chance of winning?
Good question. So if you have an allocation ticket, whitelist ticket, that means that you have definitely got a spot in the sale that you can contribute to. There is I suppose a cap on top of how much when we put out the whitelist ticket, for example, there's an example $20,000 worth of whitelist. So if you have a whitelist ticket, it gives you access to be able to go into that. But obviously, if as soon as the sale opens, you're better off being there as soon as possible to capitalize on your whitelist ticket, to make sure that you're in the pool to win. So because there's different allocations in the ticket. So as an example, let's say there's $150 per ticket that you can contribute to, but there's $20,000 worth of allocation. If there's if everybody that has a whitelist allocation ticket commits 150, it would oversell that 20,000. So there is the chance that somebody with a whitelist ticket could miss out if everybody capitalizes fully, because it's that little bit oversold nature. So if you have a whitelist ticket, the chances of you being able to contribute are very high, but at the same time, you're best off to be there, contribute as soon as it opens, to make sure that your whitelist is guaranteed.
So you have to win 2 times. First time to get a ticket, and second one to win a ticket, to win by the ticket in the IDO. Is that correct?
So as soon as you won a ticket in a whitelist ticket, you have the right to contribute in that in the initial sale. If for some reason you somehow miss out in the whitelist, you can then participate in the first come first serve. However, if you do stake Eclipse at the highest tier, you'll be guaranteed an allocation, which means all you have to do is say, this is how much I want from the allocation, and then contribute, and you're guaranteed to.
It was translation of that thing. It was very amazing. I think people have to study it, but we need some numbers. So you've told us a lot about several different tiers of staking. Can you please just tell us a number, how much your tokens or how much in dollars do we have to stake to get in the each tier? Because I think right now we are on the black market and your tokens will cost very cheap. It's not a financial advice, of course, but just tell us information about the tiers, how much money we have to invest to get to the each tier.
Yeah, for sure. Let me just hang on. Am I muted? Oh no, I'm all good. Let me just check on our website. So our actually is a calculator which tells you. So if you go to the launch hub in the dashboard, it should actually tell you. Hang on, let me just go here and have a bit of a play around. See if I can find some specific numbers. Okay. To get guaranteed lottery, you need a minimum of 20,000 essence. So if you go in and have a play with the calculator, let me just see what you need to get to that. Just bear with me 1 second. So I think from using this calculator, if you stake, I believe it's 5,000 Eclipse, it puts you into the constellation level of staking, which gives you, and so if you stake them for 12 months, that would actually put you into the guaranteed allocation. So 5,000 Eclipse, which is, oh wait, let me just check. So if you were just purely staking your Eclipse, you would need 20,000 staked. If you were to lock it, then you only need, yeah. So if I believe it's 20,000 Eclipse staked for 12 months is what you need to hit the guaranteed allocation. So there is actually a calculator on the website. So hang on, let me just, so everybody can go and have a play around, and you'll be able to see very specifically. I see Dante's been putting in information here while I'm playing around. But just as an example, from a calculator point of view, yeah, current price of Eclipse is 2.5 cents. So at that price, you would need.
So for
Let me just
example,
use a calculator.
if I just $500 and I can get 16 lottery tickets for my community.
Yep.
Like
So
that.
for $500, you get a guaranteed allocation, which means that you will be designated a minimum amount that you can contribute. Plus, you'll also get 16 lottery tickets for different amounts as well. So you get a guaranteed allocation. So you would be able to 100% participate in every sale for an amount.
I,
The higher
I
up
think
tiers after that, you get a bigger slice of the allocation. So as an example, what that means is just looking at this table, multiverse being the highest, galaxy being the next one down, constellation being the next one down for guaranteed. So just as an example, and this isn't necessarily for this next sale, but your guaranteed allocation at multiverse might be 2,000 that you can contribute. For galaxy, it might be 1,500, and for constellation, it might be 1,000. And then you get lottery tickets for more or less after that. Does that make sense?
yeah, clear. So I just translated that it is very interesting strategy. That if you just invest $500, you can get back more and more with only one guaranteed spots. But if you want more, you can just get more, like that.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yep.
I have several questions in Russian. I will translate it. The Mazarer, you also wrote that it is ambassador of Eclipse Fi. Told us that he has a problems with sound. What are your discussions? And the last question: if will be rewards for games expedition took part?
Will there be reward for the ecosystem games we just did? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So there will. So the delay on that is we're currently building out loot boxes that will allow us to distribute these rewards to the community. We're waiting on a couple of things to be able to kick those off because they'll be NFT based, and there'll be a few different components to them. For example, like there'll be shards and there'll be loot boxes. Shards you can mint into loot boxes, and inside those loot boxes you'll be able to open them, and they'll have a variety of different prizes, whether that's merchandise, whether that's Eclipse token, whether it's whitelist allocations. You know, there's a few things that we'll be putting inside the loot boxes. The hold up on that is that we need a platform on Neutron to launch so that we can actually mint these NFTs and be able to distribute them. That's Superbolt and it's coming. We're sort of just waiting for them, but we've got the full loot boxes hashed out. So, and we also have all the winners and everything. We've got their Discord names, so we'll be reaching out to distribute them soon, as soon as we can. So the prizes are locked in there. We're delayed because we have to wait for another platform to launch in order for us to be able to launch our loot box. I hope that makes sense.
Is that NFT Gang or other platform?
Yeah, an NFT platform. Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. Also, one more thing, that we have one expedition NFT on that loot boxes, so please feel free to open that loot boxes and maybe you'll be happy to get one more NFT. But I hope, I'm trust that NFT will win someone from Eclipse Fi community or nuclear scientists. It will be much funny to give such valuable prizes for our new friends, I think.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think, and I love that Simon as well as has an Expedition NFT currently as his profile picture on Twitter. I think that's excellent. So he'll rock that for another month as well to support you guys being the winners of the ecosystem games. I've definitely got to get in and grab myself one too. So yeah, no, I love the series. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much for your support and support of Simon. I really appreciate it. I hope you will find a comfortable price to buy our NFT and welcome on board. We have several more questions in the chat. The first question I see it is that DeFi Geek in his videos already talked about how to get guaranteed allocation on Eclipse Fi. We can hear him also on his practice. So guys, you just can watch his video and study about Eclipse more. That's awesome. If you can put the link, it will be amazing. Also, Dante is writing that here more information how to start Eclipse Fi platform. Amazing. We have some links. I'm also, guys, we have topics. I will show you. We have some activities for our holders, and also we have a topic about Eclipse Fi games. Here we have it. And I really want you to prepare it and organize. For me, it is very hard, but if you do it with some kind of pictures, for example, picture of your staking platform, and explain your idea with all links, just people can open it, know nothing about you, read about this one page of, for example, and get total understanding what is happening. And if he will be interested in, he can join your Discord channel, ask more, and maybe just participate in. I really want your team to make it for us. We will be appreciated.
Oh, fantastic! I see Dante's in there posting quite regularly. So, is that where you want me to post the competition?
Yeah, sure. I think we can do it almost here.
Awesome. Yeah, I just followed that there. Yeah. So, do you want me to just sort of go over the competition we talked about for the whitelist? Is that what we want to do?
Just all information about Eclipse, just some short presentation. People can just know nothing about you, just open it, read about you, and maybe start staking your tokens on your platform to get some ideas. If you can do it for us, it will be amazing.
Yes, perfect. I actually think what Dante's posted in there is our guide on exactly how to participate. So that guide there that he's posted in the chat is really there's some Medium articles there exactly how to participate, what it means. We are making some graphics, and I'll keep you guys up to date with those too. So anything that we currently push out, I'll share with you guys so that way you keep in the loop and you have everything you need.
Amazing. And you start to telling us some alpha, some insights, and maybe it's time to announce it.
Yeah, so I would love to share. This is the alpha from me. I'd love to share a competition with you guys. We've selected Expedition to be a part of our go-to-market strategy, I suppose you would say, for MXS. It's a Meta Exceed, and so what that means is we'd love to host a competition with you guys around threads. So what we're doing is if we're going to give away 5 whitelist spots to your community for the MXS IDO, and all you have to do is create a thread about the IDO itself, about the project, and we have an example we can share with you as well, just so you know what exactly you need to put up. And all you have to do is tag Eclipse, tag Expedition, and tag MXS Games. Post it on Twitter as the thread. And we'll select 5 people to give a whitelist to. So we're really excited to have that, and we have, like I said, I think Puff will be able to share some more information too, where it makes a bit more sense. There we go, perfect. So really excited to have you guys join in with us and be a part of that journey, because I think we have such a good partnership already between Expedition and Eclipse Fi, and I'd love for us to continue to build that relationship as well.
So, Joy, it was wonderful session because you explain us as for a children some simple things, some difficult things. I think right now everyone understand of that session what Eclipse Fi are, what you guys building, how it works, and from where you get money, why for project it's important, why for your stakers it's important. It is amazing. We understand everything. For us right now, everything is clear. Also, thank you for 5 guaranteed whitelists for our community. People will take part in it. It is very easy to make a thread. I think everyone will support you. We are on fire today, and also thank you so much for joining us today. And if you have some words to conclude, you're welcome.
No, thank you so much for having me. I really feel the love being here in Expedition. I feel like I'm a part of the community already. So no, I really appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate all the good energy you guys bring to our project as well. I see this being a really good relationship as we move forward, and maybe we grow together as community. So huge thanks for you for hosting. and also for everybody in the community for also being here. I'm having a great time, and I just appreciate all of you so much.
So thank you so much, Joy. You're always welcome. I feel you as a part of our family, of our crew, and you can feel free to share us for any help, to ask us for any help. We always are in and glad to help you.
Thanks again. Thanks again. I'll head off and start my morning. But definitely keep an eye out too. I've got some more games planned in the coming weeks and months, and Expedition is always welcome with us. So once again, huge thanks for having me, and everybody have an amazing day or night. And I'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.